These are, without a doubt, the most advanced times in human history, scientifically, technologically, even astronomically. But are we safer? We've evolved from swords and spears to bullets and bombs, but apparently that wasn't destructive enough, so humanity engineered weapons of mass destruction, weapons capable of wiping out the entire planet, all in the name of peace and security. Nuclear weapons have only been used twice in war, both times by the United States against Japan during World War II. Ironically, even the countries that possess them understand a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. If that is true, then why keep these weapons? And even worse, why are we stockpiling? One of the most common justifications is deterrence, the idea that possession itself prevents attack. These weapons do not just cause mass casualties, but they evoke psychological terror. And history seems to be supporting this logic, at least so far. Since the invention of these weapons, no nuclear armed country has launched a full-scale war against another nuclear armed country, largely due to the fear of mutually assured destruction. Now, this should translate into don't poke him, leave him alone, or let's improve our relations, right? Nope. Think of it this way. A lion wants to defeat a tiger, but fears direct confrontation. So what does he do? He finds a hyena who already hates the tiger. The tiger could easily rip the hyena apart. But what if the hyena puts on the lion's armor? Now that is a proxy war. Another problem of nuclear deterrence is the lack of consideration for the flawed and unpredictable nature of humans. Let me ask you this. Have you ever possessed a very important tool that you never touch or use? It's understandable why anyone would be compelled to possess these weapons. Our world is in constant conflict, especially now. It's become quite perplexing. Just since the 2019 pandemic, the world has seen a series of conflicts, from Russia-Ukraine conflict, the DRC, M23, US and Venezuela, and now US, Israel, and Iran over the fear of Iran building a nuclear bomb, even though both the US and Israel have nuclear bombs. Most of these conflicts reveal a fracture in diplomacy. As of today, 9th of May 2026, US, Israel, and Iran are in a ceasefire, but still, no deal has been reached. And if you're Iran, you wonder, even if a deal is reached, will the US honor it? The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal, was abandoned by the United States in 2018 after having been agreed to earlier. The Minsk Agreement is another example, signed by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Years later, former German Chancellor Angela Merkel publicly reveals that it was only used to arm Ukraine to fight their nuclear-armed neighbor, pushing the world closer and closer to desolation. Diplomacy is being undermined by a lack of trust and deception. So bombs have begun to replace human voices. Technological achievement should advance humanity, not threaten its extinction. The consequences of a nuclear conflict would not be limited to the states directly involved. The ripple effects, even on a continent that has no single nuclear bomb, are unimaginable. Speaking of which, Namibia, my own country, ranks as Africa's top producer of uranium and one of the top 3 in the world. The country has recently seen an increase in demand for its uranium. It happens to be at the time when there is an increase in global conflict. Coincidence? Uranium is central to both nuclear energy and military nuclear technology. It powers nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers, allowing them to operate for decades without refueling. Imagine powering Namibian homes for generations instead of fueling war machines. I think it's better to build homes than to burn them. Humanity must work towards reducing and eliminating these weapons. The obvious fear is, if I get rid of mine, will the next guy do the same? Understandable. But the answer has to be diplomacy, building trust brick by brick, honoring agreements, respecting sovereignty, and above all, remembering that we are all humans and we belong to this God-given planet. In closing, if there is no diplomacy, or if diplomacy exists but cannot hold, and if our greatest weapon guarantees no victory, then what exactly are we securing? When peace depends on how many lives you can threaten or destroy, there is no true peace, because no one is safe.